quarterly numbers, and we're gonna use the region numbers that you guys just looked at, and, we're gonna use those, and assume though that it's for a market center, okay? So it would be the same thing that you would do, OP's conversation that you would have, yet we're gonna use the regional numbers, okay? So, this is, Michelle's gonna be the PC, Brad's gonna be the MCA, and Terry's gonna be the team leader.
Yeah.
So,
Back in the role.
back in the role. So here we go. All right, so first of all, this is our quarterly conversation that we're gonna have, and of course, you guys know that we've got a vision of having 6,000 agents in our region, okay?
Right.
So that's our vision, and our culture that we've created for our market center is to be a culture of continuous growth. So we're gonna have that conversation today, and we're just gonna start with the 4 conversations for the quarter, all right? So you guys have got those in front of you, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so we had the goal for the quarter in the first conversation, Terry, was 2,817 was our goal.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually hit 2,599, so we were at 92%, which is an A. So
Yeah,
first of all, I
great.
want to say congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a
Thank
great
you.
number.
Good job.
Thank you to my team.
We got a 10% increase from last quarter of
Mhm.
last year. So great job
I
on
know,
that.
isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Terry, let me ask you, how many of those appointments that you had were actually market share appointments?
Well, you know, I've got my pipeline here in front of me, you know, because I look at it every day. And, you know, I really pay attention to that. We're at about 25% now.
25% of your appointments are market share
Yeah.
appointments? Okay, great.
Yeah.
And as we move forward to the second quarter, what's the goal for that percentage?
Well, my coach and I have been talking about that, and, you know, we're gonna get that, all the way to 100%.
Okay.
And we're gonna work incrementally to get there. So next month, I committed to 50% of my would-be market share appointments.
Your appointments?
Uh-huh.
Okay, now your PC is having some appointments for you as well,
Yes,
right?
that is another thing that my coach helped me with. We've gotta leverage. I've gotta let go, I've gotta let go of control. I know everybody needs me. However, I'm gonna let, my productivity coach, Michelle's gonna take all of the new agents, the unlicensed agents, the career nights. She's gonna,
Some
quarter cappers, because she's gonna grow her program. So we've created goals for Michelle now.
That's
She
awesome.
actually has goals now, appointment goals every time.
Great. So Terry, let me also ask you, because again, this is an A in this category, so you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
How else is your executive team supporting you to get to 100% of your goal to actual?
Well, that's where Brad comes in because, you know, Brad's so important. He's my co-leader in this market center and he's gonna protect my time. He's gonna help me protect my time and he's going to go down the list and he's gonna make calls to our roster and he's actually gonna ask them, who do they know? He's gonna check in on them, he's gonna ask them for referrals for me. I've shared my calendar now, so it's on Google Drive. I've got my appointments opened. I've got a really structured, time-blocked calendar that I'm gonna stick to. And Brad's gonna hold me to that. He's gonna be my accountability partner in that, and he kinda scares me. So,
He kind of scares me too sometimes.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
yeah.
All right, great. Let's go to our second conversation. All right. So our second conversation is that we had a goal for 477 to grow,
Mhm.
and you did 399.
I know. We're pretty close.
Yeah, that's 83%.
Yeah.
That's
But
a
look
big-
at last year.
You're right. You're right. You've
Yeah.
increased. I want to congratulate you on that. That's
Wow.
an increase of 32%. That's a great job.
We did it together.
Yeah. And so Terry, one of the things I wanted you to look at. So what else do you see in this number?
Well, what I see is, my ratio is a little, we're seeing a lot of people and we're just not getting them through. We're just not getting them over to say yes to us right now.
Right.
And we're close and we're better than we were last year. I mean, man, look at that, 32%.
32%. Yeah. So can I tell you what I see? May I share with
I
you?
would, yeah, sure.
So right now, you're working really hard, Terry.
Oh my gosh, you know, I don't go home sometimes till 7 o'clock at night, Debbie. I'm committed to this office. We're gonna make a place for these people to be. They're not gonna leave us.
It's taking you 7 appointments on average to gross one.
Well, I gotta hit that 40. So, you know, I can only spend maybe an hour at the most.
So
with
if
some
it's
of these
taking you
people.
7 appointments to get one, and you know the average is 4 to 1, and Terry, I see you way better than average. So what are you currently working on with your MAPS coach right now to get your conversion from 7 to 1 to 4 to 1?
Well, we're gonna grow that too. I committed that,
Specifically, Terry, what are the strategies you're working on with your MAPS coach
well,
to get to 4 to 1?
leverage, letting go of control, shutting my door and locking it, have structured lead generation time. These are things that I've got a whiteboard outside my office. These two, I'm sharing with them every morning. We're having a stand-up meeting every morning, and we're creating a habit of going over the 4 conversations for 10 or 15 minutes.
So you're having a meeting with them every morning?
Every morning for
Around-
10 to 15 minutes.
Excellent.
It's
About
our huddle.
what?
It's our
What's your
huddle.
Great,
Mhm.
okay, perfect.
And we're going over the 4 conversations, and Brad's making sure that they change every morning. Something's gotta change on those 4 conversations.
And can I jump in real quick?
Absolutely.
So this, I find it a little challenging to be the accountability person for the person that I report to, right? So I don't see my relationship with Terrie as an accountability relationship. I'm here to help her hit her goals, because when she hits her goals, the market center hits its goals, right? And so what we do in this conversation is we check out our numbers and we see where we are with these things. And what we're specifically focusing on, what I'm working on with my MAPS coach, is about the value, about these numbers that we have here, because these are really exciting numbers that reflect our growth and the growth of our agents. And when you're talking about those numbers, then I know that we're gonna be successful at recruiting and retaining our people.
Great job.
Brad's my
Accountability
partner.
buddies.
Accountability buddies.
I like it, all right. So, this is one of the areas that I really wanna come back to next month and really see go from 7 to 1 to 4 to 1.
And so our goal is to be at 5 to 1.
Okay.
And then we're gonna go to 4 to 1.
So incremental growth, I'm
Yeah,
okay with that.
May we will be at 4 to 1.
Okay.
And I need you, Debbie, I need you as my operating partner to really hold me to that, because my coach, I'm gonna have to write a check if I don't. It's two K to be clear, so
Okay.
it's a big amount.
Well, I like that you're committed, and I like that you're working on that.
Will you hold me
Coach,
accountable?
I'll hold you accountable, and I like that you're working as an executive team and knowing the value of that number. So we're gonna get to value with our next conversation.
Okay.
Okay, so the next conversation, this is where we really have the greatest opportunity. We had 273 is our goal, and we hit 125. That one hurts a
Yeah.
little bit. So first of all, Terrie, when you look at your cap management, tell me a little bit about, are you having the 90-day, because you're responsible for the retention of that top 20%.
Mm-hmm.
So are you having your 90-day capper conversations?
Well, you know, I've gotta do 40 appointments a month, and then I've gotta lead generate, and we do training and ALC, and we gotta go to those regional meetings, you know,
So
because
Terrie-
Myra makes us come.
So Terrie,
And-
are you having your 90-day capper conversations?
With some, the ones who want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. The goal though is for me to meet with every one of my top 20% before the end of May, go through the CGI, be certain that they've got their CGI information in there, and talk with them about their goals so that we get that down consistently. And I'm gonna start doing that on Fridays. That's gonna be my top 20% day.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be asking each of them before they walk out of my office if there's a recruit that they've done a deal with that they can call for me right then and there and set an appointment, so.
So one of the things I wanna share with you, Terrie, and this may really help you with your cap management, because you're looking at it all the time. And this was actually something that was shared from my MAPS coach. So if you'll take your cap management, you know where you've got the individual names?
Right?
What if you were to put underneath the individual name, the amount of profit share that that person had earned
Amen.
last year?
Oh, that's a great idea.
And so now, when you're having these conversations with your top 20%, you can actually show them how close they are to being a member of the 100% club, right? Where we actually pay associates to be with Keller Williams.
Okay.
And then, do you think that that would help you get more referrals?
Yeah, because then I could talk to them about, remind them about how much profit share they've earned and that it's real. And that if we all grow together, it's growing.
Then know what their goal is for profit share
Uh-huh.
and how you can help them with that. So it's all about helping our associates get more profit share.
Yes,
Right?
right.
And then how do you think you could also use that for your gross number if you were visiting with a capper in your pipeline and you could actually show them that we also have individuals that have profit share? What do you think that would do?
Oh.
That
Well,
makes
I
your job
would think
easier or
that would
harder?
perk their curiosity a little bit, may not be the real reason that they choose us, however, it would be something they don't have right now, and I don't think we talk about that value enough, right?
Perfect. So let's implement that, and let's
Okay.
just see if that can actually help you with your top 20% conversations, and those conversations would probably be more exciting.
Okay.
Wouldn't you agree?
I agree.
Right. Yeah.
My master coach and I have been working on something similar to that too. We actually
Awesome.
looked at our top 10 report from the end of 2016 and identified a number of cappers, identified a number of half cappers and quarter cappers that with some coaching and encouragement could hit their cap this year. And so I've been working with Michelle and talking with those people. My coach has been helping me navigate those conversations to help them set goals using the CGI calculator that would get them to a cap and walk them through the 4 conversations so that they understand the activities they need in order to get to those goals.
Love that. Thank you. And Michelle, you've got a capper pipeline,
Here is
correct?
the capper pipeline from the PC program. So on here, as you can see down here below, DJ knows this. Here's all of the potential cappers for the program this year. It's based on their anniversary date, where they are production-wise right now, their drive, and really my ability to coach them to cap. So here's who we're projecting. Here's the months we're projecting them in. And then as they cap, as you can see, John Smith capped in January and Mary capped in February. I moved them up.
So you're growing cappers.
Absolutely, that's my goal. My goal is to develop 25 cappers in our market center this year.
Awesome. Okay, great.
And every time that someone comes in to ask Brad a question, he's initiated, have they given Terrie, a referral, and if they're a capper, just to remind them where they are on that list. So I think that would be a great conversation if we had that on that cap management. And Brad has done a great job. He's gone back through our cap management. He looks at it every day. He makes sure that the cappers that are on there are not just barely cappers. And
Right,
we
they're
know.
they're staying with me as the productivity coach until they become a dependable, sustainable capper. So if I've got, like you can see, I'm projecting John's gonna cap for his first time, I'm so excited, in the 11th month. So I'm gonna keep him in the PC program to ensure that he is a sustainable capper, so you can count him on the capper, on your pipeline report.
So you guys are really using, not only growing the cappers, but who's in your pipeline
Mhm.
of the cappers that are coming on, and you guys are really looking at that on a consistent basis.
Because we know we need to recruit a minimum of 2 cappers a month, but we also know we need to grow 2 cappers, or 25 cappers a year.
Yes.
I've got kind of a both and strategy to that. If we recruit them, then that puts them in there, but if we also grow a number of cappers, then we're ensuring that we're gonna be successful because we have 2 strategies.
Great.
Bulletproofing it.
That's gonna make sure that we impact that 4th conversation as well. So, what's the strategy that you guys have for the 2nd quarter in promoting our value proposition for each of you?
Want me to go? So what we're working on, because we know that the agents, in terms of keeping the back door shut when they're in production, they're typically not leaving. So I really take, as the PC coach, I take that retention, I talk to Brad about this all the time. I take retention as, that's my job. So if they're leaving, chances are they didn't get into production. So we know that listings, first conversation, right, the appointments for listings. So we're driving listings. As you know, in February, we did our Lebanon listings, and we had a huge increase in listings taken. And then for May, it is, may I have some more, please? Listings, that is. And so everything that we're asking for from the education committee is gonna support price reductions, CMAs, everything around training our agents in listings. And of course, we're doing lots of door knocking blitz right now as well to get more listings. So listings.
Great. From
Did
the
I say listings?
You said listings.
Listings.
A few times.
Right. And Michelle and I have been working really closely together on this, and talking about our value numbers is really our biggest opportunity because these numbers are really fantastic. When we look at the results, when John does the calls every Tuesday for the MCAs, and they talk about the green marks for 10 plus and the pinks for below that, there was one point in the past where he said if you're at 20% or higher, then you're really golden. And most of our categories, for language of real estate are at 20% or higher. So we've got great numbers to tell. I'm excited about them. And the fact that we're having a retention issue, to me, means that we're not doing an effective job of telling that story. So we're gonna be really focused on that.
We're really gonna take, that new, piece that John Davis just sent out this past week to all of us, that now we can easily input our numbers in. And we know the first thing we've gotta do is we've gotta go to leadership. We've gotta go to ALC, we've gotta drive those numbers through ALC, not just tell them about it and put it on the wall and talk about it in team meeting. We've gotta ask them what it means to them. We've gotta tell a story with each category, and then ask them how they're going to promote it themselves. In fact, we're gonna do a prize for how many times people post to Facebook, you know, about our lore and share our language of real estate. So we're coming up with an idea of how to get that work, because if we've got, you know, this many agents sharing it one time all over Facebook, all their different friends, how enormous is that? But we've gotta get our leadership driven first, so I've gotta do a better job as a team leader